Hello, welcome to Drinking with Comics. My name is Sean.
I am Michael Belzebub. I spiced up for Halloween again.
Oh my God. What,
You can't like if
so
you're gonna go with Michael, I feel like you have to throw something at the end of it. It's not like
Myers.
just I am Michael. I am Michael. Me and him have the same birthday.
Oh,
Fun fact. Yeah,
interesting. Interesting.
not the actor, the killer.
No, I know. Is there an actor named Michael? Oh, there is. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, he kills me with his not being funny. Um,
Yeah,
Actually, I've seen him do some serious roles in the last couple of years that I was kind of like, wow, really? I mean, anyway, whatever.
he
This is Drinking with
was
Comics,
something
not
that was
drinking with
really
Michael
good.
Myers. So we're recording this on the 28th. So you guys will be viewing it on Halloween or shortly before. So we're going to give you some Halloween picks first, and then we'll go into
Picks.
the last two episodes of Penguin. I mean, not the last, not the final two episodes, but the most recent two episodes because we missed last week. And I got some other surprises here for you.
Ooh.
So first, we got two beers to feature tonight, and we wanted to we didn't knock out our summer beers before the end of the summer. So we wanted to knock out our Oktoberfest before the end of October.
Yeah,
So
all 10 of them.
yeah, so we're gonna drink 10 of them right now. Uh, this is Terrapin Brewing Company from Athens, Georgia. This is their Oktoberfest
Oh,
style Marzen. Um, I jumped the gun, already opened my can. Wait, I'm gonna have to adjust
yeah.
my screen here. Hold on a second. There we go. All right. So uh interesting thing, I always really dig on Oktoberfests in October and the months leading up to October. I think they tend to hit the shelves around August now. Um
Yeah, right next to the pumpkin beer.
yeah, which dude, some of the pumpkin beer, the price has like quadrupled.
I
I'm
think
literally
there's a pumpkin shortage going on. Last couple pumpkin harvests
really?
haven't been all that great. Yeah.
Oh. But
Oh, that's solid.
last year I bought
Very
a bunch of
good.
Oktoberfest, couldn't drink it. Every time I drank it, man, it tore me up the next day, and I was like, "What happened?" So I approached this year. I didn't even start trying until like mid to late September because I was just afraid, and I'm
Yeah.
fine. So I don't know
Oh,
what that
good.
was. Yeah, it was really weird. I had like Revolution Brewing's Oktoberfest last year. I had Goose Islands, a couple others. I couldn't drink them, but drank a couple cans. I was like, can't drink it.
Oh man, this is good.
It is. It's a very, very good Oktoberfest. It's it doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it's
Does it need to?
no, it does not. Absolutely not. In
Oh,
fact, if people start trying to reinvent Oktoberfest by like, oh, cinnamon Oktoberfest beer, then bring on the fucking apocalypse. Fuck that. You're already putting shit
yeah.
in whiskey.
I'm surprised there isn't a pumpkin cinnamon toast crunch Oktoberfest.
What I saw, we stopped in Binny's yesterday on the way out of Chicago, and
Yeah.
totally impromptu stop. Like I forget if we stopped for gas or something, and I had been thinking like I should buy beer to bring back because it's so much cheaper here. But we were already way behind schedule, and literally I pull out of the gas station across the street. There's a Binny's. I'm like, well, that's a fucking sign. But they
Oh, is the one
had,
by my house?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it was absolutely. Um, they had Kirsten's buying wine, and they had like a pumpkin spice wine. I didn't show it to her because I feel like she would have been like, "Oh, I should try that," and then she would have tasted it and been like, "Oh, I have to pour that down the drain." So like, I'm not going to mention that to you. Mm,
Yeah, it's a good Benny's.
it is. It's smaller than a lot of the other bennies I've seen, but it
It
doesn't matter.
is.
They stock them
Yeah,
in.
it's packed pretty well, and
Yeah.
every time I walk in there, I just run around going la di da di la 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 la.
I hope one day I just happen to be in there and don't know you're in there, and you're in there and don't know I'm in there, and I see that. That would to my pledge to our viewers. I will videotape that shit and bring it right here.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh,
Have you been partaking in the Oktoberfest beers this year?
I have the one that I sent you. The what was that? Ohio Brewing Company.
Oh yeah.
Shoot.
Oh shit. I forgot all about that
Yeah,
one.
that was, and I think I had a Sam Adams because every season I get a 4 pack, or I get the seasonal pack every year, every season for Sam Adams,
Okay.
regardless of what it is, because it's easy, it's good, it's always solid. I look forward to it every season. So I got the Halloween one a couple months ago. When it first, as soon as it hits out, I get it usually. So I'll get that. I'll get the Christmas one. I'll get a spring one. I'll get a summer one.
Right on.
Very basic, bitchy of me for beer drinking
No.
snobs, but I don't care. It's
No,
good.
not
It's
at
fun,
all. Not at
cheap.
all. I mean, I don't generally drink Sam Adams, but I've never had like it's totally it's solid beer. You know,
Yeah,
like
it's my go-to big brewery beer, I guess you could say. Like, because they're always you'll always usually see a Sam Adams at a restaurant,
yes.
and it never lets down. I like, it used to be Guinness was my always go-to, but then I sometimes it gets a little heavy, so I don't really drink that much. But I always like a good solid. Sam Adams has usually great choices. So
Yeah, and like their Boston Lager is it's not like one of my favorite beers, but it is like you say, I've been in situations where it's like, oh fuck, like I'm with somebody like just for instance, one time I remember like long ago when I first moved to California, like people I work with were like, "Oh, let's go to the bar after work." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." And we go to like TGI Fridays. I'm like, "This isn't a
yeah,
bar," And so the only thing I can have is either a bottle of Heineken or they had Sam Adams Boston Lager on tap, and I'm like, "Okay, well, as long as their taps are maintained, like if
yeah,
my thing, if I go out, I want to drink tap beer. I don't want to buy bottled or canned beer. It's just why? I can do that at home.
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, this is good. So they sell this by me.
Yeah.
It's Athens, Georgia Brewing, but it's Terrapin Brewing from Athens, Georgia. But I've had something else by them, and I don't remember what it is, and it was also good. But yeah, this is very good.
Huh. I would try
Oh,
other stuff from them. That was very good.
hmm so. Mike, give me a Halloween recommendation. It can be something that you watch, it can be something that you read, it can be something that you play checkers with.
Oh, every year I watch Over the Garden Wall. It is my Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown since it came out, and it is just such a great atmospheric love letter to cartoons, I guess you could say.
Hmm.
Uh, they're 12 to 10 minutes long. They tell a complete story, great voice cast. Uh, really has good fall vibes, I guess you could
Yeah.
say. Yeah, you took my recommendation and watched it. What'd you think?
Oh, dude, I fucking loved it. I had never heard of it before. I didn't know anything about it. I absolutely loved it. It may become like yearly autumnal viewing for me as well. And this is its 10th
It's hard
anniversary. I
not
thought
to.
that was interesting.
Yeah, it's been around for 10 years. It's such a good, solid story, I guess, and there's fun stuff in it too. It's fun. It's not like that like spooky, but yet
It's pretty
it's
spooky, but it's
good.
more fun. It's a nice
Yeah.
mix. Uh, so created by Patrick McHale. Uh, I'm not really familiar with him at all.
I don't think he's done a couple of things here and there. I'm not that familiar with him either. I don't think I've seen anything or heard of anything else he's done lately.
Actually, and I haven't seen this, but he apparently wrote the screenplay for Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Oh, interesting.
I could
That works.
yeah, that kind of that makes perfect. I haven't seen that. It's one of those things that's been languishing on my list since it came out 2 years ago, but that might bump it up. Um, But yeah, voice casting, we got Elijah Wood and Colin Dean are the two mains. Melanie Linsky from Yellow Jackets and a bunch of other shit who I absolutely adore. Christopher Lloyd,
Yeah. And I like the John Cleese is in it. Does the voice of
John
the mad
Cleese. Yes. Oh,
Does
the
two
beast.
voices actually.
So the beast is Samuel Ramey. No, it's not
Okay.
Sam. It's not Sam Raimi, the director. It's Samuel Ramey.
Okay.
Looks like he's a stage actor, which makes sense.
Yeah, I could see that. The Beast was very theatrical.
Very.
It made sense that they had him in there.
But John Cleese was awesome. Christopher Lloyd, Chris Isaac was a voice. Tim Curry, Bebe Neuwirth.
Every year when I watch it, I rewatch it, I glee onto a new character, a character on it. And a Highwayman was the one that really kind of stuck to me this year. Weird, he does this weird dance that's animated like an old school Cape Calloway cartoon.
Yes,
Or yeah, he just does this like I'm the Highwayman, you know.
I was very. It was very good, and it's basically starts. It's two brothers. As the one in high school age. I mean, but they're cartoons, so their age is kind of arbitrary. But one is like a teenager, one is a younger kid. Um, and they're just kind of like lost in this weird unknown place.
Well, I like when by the time you get to the second to the last episode, you find out how they got to where they're at,
I
but you
loved
didn't need
that.
that information beforehand. But when it comes up, it's like, oh, it all makes sense now.
I loved that a lot. Like that second to last episode, I wasn't expecting to like drop back and pick up from from before. And yeah, I thought that was really really cool. It has elements of Wind in the Willows, and there's another.
Oh, it has elements of various cartoons and various episodes. Like the when the frog starts singing, that's the old Warner Brothers singing frog
Yes, good call.
gag. Because he
Good
has this
call.
great voice, it's just like deep and starts singing this beautiful song. And then there's the I'm still have I haven't watched the last three this year yet. I know what happens, but I haven't rewatched them this year, so they're not fresh
Hmm.
in my mind. But the last one I watched was the Anti Whispers,
Hmm.
which is very much Miyazaki style with the big head, and this is very familiar with some of his other works that he's done. Uh, and that's just such a good creepy story with a good twist that you don't really see. But when
Yes.
when you know the twist is there and you watch it, they tell you flat out. There's no like the surprise to the twist, but the twist is there, and I like it. It's good.
It's
Spoiler
it's
alert.
it's very
Twist.
good,
A
and it
twist.
it goes along with. It is spooky, even though it is, there's a like a love of childish cartoons that is just it draws influence from all these things of childhood. I shouldn't say childish childhood because that can be more like nostalgia driven. It can
Yeah,
be approached from a little bit more of a
it's
sophisticated place. And while this is fun and has that element, there's definitely a level of sophistication, and it shows in that twist. I just think that twist is fucking
yeah.
great.
And there's that, and there's like the one where they find the school and they're teaching the animals how to
Yes.
be human or whatever. They're just, the potatoes and molasses. My wife sings that song every time I bring up Garden Wall. Like, I'm gonna watch that. She's like, potatoes and molasses. Uh,
It's it's very good.
just hands down one of the best cartoons out there, and it shows up on YouTube every once in a while if you want to see it. It was streaming several years ago. I would stream it sometimes on there, or it's on Hulu. I cannot
It's
recommend
on
enough if
Hulu.
you've never seen it. Yeah,
It's on Hulu, and like you said, it's 10 episodes. They're all like tops 11 minutes long, so they go real quick, but they don't feel fleeting. They feel chalk. Like the story is good. It never feels like it always feels longer than it actually is, but in a good way,
yeah. It's
you know?
by the time you're done, you're wanting more, but there shouldn't be any more.
There shouldn't be any more. It's
Which,
perfect how it
which
is.
hands off. Yeah, it's perfect where it is. Sometimes I wish there was more, but then I'm like, just you nailed it. Like perfect amount of episodes, perfect everything.
Yeah.
Because clearly they could have gone that adventure for a little bit longer and met weirder people, but it would have run low after a while, I would think.
Yeah, I could totally see that. But yeah, I thank you for the recommendation. I really enjoyed it. And it is on Hulu. And I have Hulu with ads because my phone pays for my Hulu and there were no ads. So I don't even know
Yeah,
how
because
that
they're
works.
15 minutes long, so there's an ad in the front and an ad at the end, but they don't put it in the middle.
No, I don't think I got an ad the whole time I watched.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that weird? I was like, okay, I mean, I'm not gonna like, I'm not gonna ask out loud, like, where's the ad? Because I don't want it to just, I mean, if my phone or well, I'm not watching my phone, I'm watching my computer, but they're all working in tandem against us, right? So my phone hears me say that, it tells my computer, hey, put some fucking ads in there, man. Get this guy,
Sean,
he's perfect for
Sean's hungry for a new Toyota.
yes, exactly.
Every time I watch it, I catch something new, right?
Okay.
This time, if you want to rewatch, now that you finished it, rewatch the first 5 seconds of the first episode. You see all the characters throughout the show that they meet doing various things, like the mad John Cleese's mad tea owner staring at a picture of the girl who thinks is a ghost, or oh, in the episode where they go to the where they're at the school and there's that no good, what was his name?
I don't remember, but you're talking about the guy who's funding the school that doesn't want them to teach.
No, the guy in the gorilla costume.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That the
Her,
teacher
her,
thinks was he was going to marry her, but she thinks he ran away and he really just got caught in the gorilla costume.
yeah, you actually see him in the gorilla costume in a circus
Oh, that's cool.
for like just 2 second flash. But as long as it's like it doesn't make any sense when you see it before. And the other thing is because this all takes place outside of railroad train tracks at the end. Like you find out that they kind of cross the railroad train tracks and the train's coming. Every time when the song ends, when they play the theme music and
Hmm.
they do the title song, it fades away to a train honking its horn.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, there's like every time you watch it, you'll find a little detail that was in there that's just like so lovely put in there. So it's not like it's kind of fresh almost every time I watch it because there's like even though I know it's going to happen, then I'm aware of like oh look, there's that character in the background I didn't notice before.
I know on previous iterations of this show, I've talked about how I read James O'Barr's The Crow every year. And I can't bring that up without stating how much I hate the original movie with what's his name that I haven't seen since opening day and I never will watch again. And
Really?
oh God, I mean, it's like my most hated movie, probably. I just hate it. It's just so not the book. And I also hated the new one. But the other book I read every year is Rick Spears and Rob G's Teenagers from Mars. I might have talked about this before as well. I'm pretty sure I did. So I'm just going to blow through it because
I
dude,
read it today.
this is just, I just love this fucking book so much. And the funny thing is, I thought for sure that when I found this in or like the early 2000s, that this had been around for 20 years, and that's not the case. Um,
No?
no, it feels so
Didn't I
much
used
like
to
it would have
sell you the
been.
single issues when it came out?
No, I bought it as a
Okay.
trade, and it's Gigantic Graphic Novels is the company that published it, and this is 2005. So I forget when the single issues came out, but it shortly around there.
Uh, yeah, shortly before there.
But it's everything. It's like post-punk 80s 20s lifestyle as as it was like back in that time. I don't know. It's just there's so much music and pop culture that is from my past that's just interwoven and from uh the Dawn of the Dead T-shirt that's on prominent display um for a couple scenes, or like the Misfits, obviously, like the one kid out of the three Gravediggers has the devil lock. And just the general fashion sense of the characters and just the world that they seem to live in. I don't know. It just feels so much like of that time, that post-punk, Poppy
It's
Z
very
Bright.
80s,
It
where,
is. And
everything is witchcraft and Satanism hysteria and, you know, comic books are bad.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, very much so.
So you had read it before, correct?
I think I read the first issue when it came out, and I
Okay.
thought it was okay. It didn't grab me. I still have issues with it, but I don't hate it.
Okay.
It's there's there's a ton of books, not a ton of books, but there's like a lot of books along these lines that I kind of enjoy a little bit better. I
Okay.
think that they did better, but they weren't, like Scott Pilgrim has a lot of things that I like about this, not necessarily the punk references, but the meeting a girl, falling in love, going on an
Right.
adventure type thing. Um, Man, I want to say there was a little bit of that in Deadly Class too when it first came out.
Yeah, there's if people don't know this and they dug Deadly Class, I mean, it's not a book about assassins. There's no real action in it.
No,
I mean, other than some fisticuffs, some like teenage fisticuffs or whatever.
I think Kill Your Boyfriend from
Grant Morrison.
Grant Morrison a little bit like this. It's I'm not gonna say it's like a genre in itself, but
It
there is
kind of
several
was a little
books.
bit.
It kind of was, yeah.
I mean, I remember like I read a little bit, and our friend Joe Culler knows it better than I. And it's been so long, I don't remember anything. But like Blue Monday, I feel like was one. There was one called The Waiting
Yeah,
Place that was a little bit similar, a little bit more melodramatic, but was similar. Um, just this feels like it's part of the black and white explosion, but it's not really. It's kind of emulating the black and white explosion, which is fine. That's not a
yeah.
criticism at all. But when I first read it, I thought, oh, this is from the black and white explosion era, and it's not.
There's like weird shit that happens in it too that kind of like they don't really explain, like them throwing the basketball landing in an explosion on
Yes.
the ground, and it rolls to like the porn, like some sort of mystery. And correct me if I'm wrong. There's one point in this book where he's wearing it almost looks like a Bruce
I,
Lee T-shirt.
where it's clearly a photograph that's been added to the artwork.
The shirt talks,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's fucked, dude. I totally forgot about that.
and then he responds, "Yeah, that's fucked." Like he responds to the shirt. Yeah, you're right. And like, okay, why is the shirt talking?
I love that. I fucking love that. Good call. I forgot all about that. Um, I haven't read it yet this year. I'm gonna read it. Maybe I'm off on Halloween and the day after, so I'll probably read it then. But um,
And then they don't really explain the ring.
no, they
I thought
don't.
they'd get to that.
They
Like his secret little underground group of people that give him free shit because he's got the ring. Very
because he's
Fight
got the
Clubby.
ring. Well,
Yeah.
I think that's just a metaphor for the gatekeeping of that era, which I'm a big fan of gatekeeping because kids, if you wear a Nirvana shirt, you better be able to name a Nirvana song. Just gonna say it. Just gonna say it because you might I might be there, and if I see you in a Nirvana shirt and I say, "What's your favorite
I
Nirvana song?" You're like, "I just like the shirt." I'm like, "Give me the fucking shirt." But yeah, so Teenagers from Mars, just another one that I just fucking adore, and somehow it doesn't even take place on Halloween, but it just has all these
Yeah.
Halloween elements. You know what I mean? Like
It
I
was a
for
zombie party.
yeah, for years I just assumed it was, I guess, because it's a zombie party where you go up and it's like $5 for a cup or $20 and they'll fucking give you the full zombie treatment, and then he walks into the party and all these people look like zombies. It's fucking great. Because they got like a makeup guy out front. So very cool. Just really,
Yeah,
oh man,
it's. I feel like this. It could be polished a lot more too,
I don't
but
think it's
there's a
polished.
certain rawness to it that makes it good.
Yes,
No,
for
but
sure.
yeah, but I mean, like, it's like I like The Crow too, but I mean, it could be polished very well too because it's kind of what it is.
No, no, it
But at the
can't be.
same time,
You polish The
uh,
Crow, the comic book, and you know what you get? The fucking bullshit movie. Those are some Halloween recommendations. I wanted to also add in a couple spooky things real quick. Um, our buddy Jonathan Grimm, this is the art of the Hand of Doom tarot. He put out the Hand of Doom tarot via Kickstarter
oh yeah,
earlier this year, and then he just did a Kickstarter for this, which is the coffee table book of the art, and it is just like the fucking most gorgeous shit. It's every card that's in his deck. And it is, I mean, John is not only my friend, a long time friend, but he has become one of my favorite artists. And I'm not saying that because he's my friend. And in fact, I'm going to call that motherfucker up and tell him, fuck you, I'm no longer your friend, just so when people will take me seriously when I say I love this guy's art. I'm just
I
kidding,
do
John.
too.
You'll always be my friend.
I have seen him grow leaps and bounds over the years, and
Unreal.
I know he will agree with me on that.
Yeah, but
And
he'll be like, yeah, I'm
he
still
is
not
my
that good.
favorite. He went from being like, "Wow, you're a great artist," to like, "Holy shit, you are my favorite artist right now."
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
it's
Hands
fucking
down.
it's insane. It's
Yeah.
insane. Some of
Um,
his work.
yes. Yeah, I love it. I can't wait to see him go further in the world with it.
Yeah. But so that's available. I'll put a link in the show notes to John's store. The Kickstarter obviously ended, but he's doing another Kickstarter soon, and all this stuff will be available as like add-ons or whatever. Um,
Oh yeah, and follow. Eventually, he'll do your favorite character as a shirt. You'll have to go, or a art piece. You'll have to go buy the shirt, the original art piece for it, the foil cover of it.
yeah,
Every time he draws Ghost Rider, it makes me mad. My pocketbook goes a little lighter.
nice. This was a recommendation from at Rick's, my friend Ryan that works there. So he's we always talk about horror movies and shit, and he's big on some of the like YouTubers that do like weird. So this guy, Mr. Ballin, he does weird like true crime, but also like mysterious, unexplained shit and some stuff that's like more like ghost stories or whatever. I can't do the show because he speaks with a YouTuber cadence, and I don't like that.
What do you
Um,
mean?
like
Should we be doing that?
No, we should definitely not be doing that ever. But we are not YouTubers, just to make that perfectly clear. I mean, we are doing the show on YouTube. We're not YouTubers. But no disrespect to this Mr. Ballin because he's obviously like achieved a lot and whatever. And this is a graphic novel he did where he took a couple stories I guess he had covered before on his show, and then some that he hadn't. And
I wonder if my wife watches a lot of shows like that. I wonder if she watches his. I don't.
and
Name doesn't
Andrea
ring a bell, but
Andrea Moody did the art. I know the name, I can't place it. But this has like the first thing that caught my eye is it has the story of the Beast of Juvedan. I'm probably saying that wrong, but that's the folklore that Brotherhood of the Wolf is based on, and a couple other movies have touched on it as well. Um, there was a movie recently called Cursed that I quite liked a couple years ago, and that also kind of touched on that. But it's pretty cool. It's from 10 Speed Graphic, 10 Speed Press. I've never heard of them. It was a $20 TPB, but I'm about halfway through and I'm digging it. It's just short stories. It's just like a little bit of an
good.
anthology. Uh, Spooky, fits the time of year.
Nice.
And I want to mention one more thing, and this isn't spooky. And I didn't tell you I was going to mention this because I just
Oh,
read them and I am a huge fan of
okay.
Zdarsky Comic News.
I
Dude,
told you those are great.
I fucking love this. So, Mike, explain this to the readers. This is like a freebie, I guess.
It's if ask your local comic shop if they have it. They are what, 4 pages cover back. It's just a one page filled it over.
Yeah, it's
It's
just one
not
page
very
fold over.
much. It's the Chip Zdarsky writes it. It is very tongue-in-cheek humor about the comic book industry. It's very sarcastic. I think my favorite headline, or well, none of this stuff's covered on it, but my favorite headline is like, "Want to read a dark Superman story? What is it there? You have it in front of you. I think it's issue 2 about dark Superman cover."
What if Superman was evil? We compile a list of 5,000 comics which answer that question. That was fucking incredible, actually. It's funny. I know he's joking, but he's totally running Ryan Stegman riot for the missionary. But
Yeah,
it's a joke. He's actually like promoting it, but it's pretty funny because I hated it so much. Um, it's Zdarsky. I'm not that familiar with his work, but he even like it's just a big piss take. He even takes a piss out of himself. Where like
oh
on
yeah.
the back it shows like the Zdarsky books that are in print, and like for instance, okay, so Avengers Twilight, and the description is Captain America's old and you better get off his dystopian lawn. There's one where this one for Batman 155. Oh geez, how will Batman get out of this one? Maybe he can use his money. Really fucking funny.
I
Really
know.
funny.
I
So
adore them. So yeah,
that's the perfect word. It's a perfect word.
yeah. It's the sarcastic shot I needed in my comic shop news day, weekly or monthly or however long he puts it out. I just look forward to reading it whenever it comes out. because it only takes like a few minutes. Yeah, well, it seems like it just showed up one day, and I was like, "What's this? Oh, this is hysterical."
It really is. So, and it's free. So I would definitely recommend people like ask your comic shops, you know. Okay, so for our second Oktoberfest beer, this is the Victory Fest beer. Another Oktoberfest is always Marzen style. Um, Victory is from Pennsylvania, and yeah,
Are you in?
are you in?
I'm in.
You remember, because they'll tell stories about this night. We work real hard, and nobody knows your fucking name except me. So,
Ooh, that's golden brown.
yeah,
Oh, hold on here.
Wyke, Toyne.
Oh, look at that. It's pretty.
Toyne's out is pretty because they work it real good.
I don't know if that's going to show up on the video, but very
Mm-hmm.
pretty.
Mm. So I don't like this Oktoberfest beer as much as I did the Terrapin one, but I still like it.
Yeah, the other one was slightly better. Yeah. It's a little, I'm going to say watered down, but
It's got that thing where like I feel like it hits my tongue and like spreads out in a weird way.
yes. Like, ooh.
I'm sure there's an actual like beer snob term for that. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'll spend some time on Tapped In or
Spidery.
Untapped. I'll spend some time on Untapped and see if I can't figure that out. No, I won't. Nothing against Untapped.
That's for the rich guys who live above us. This is a beer for those of us who work in the sewers.
So we missed last week. So we got 2 episodes of Penguin. And Mike, I just got to tell you, man, I don't know how you feel. Each episode gets exponentially better. And they've all been fucking good. So it's not just like, oh, it's finding its legs. It's like, no, it was like it started with its legs and now it's like a masterpiece.
That's true. Yeah, it has its legs and hit it running. I really enjoyed this week's episode. I think more than last week's, but not that last week's was bad. It was still very good.
At the time, it was the best
Uh,
episode, but then you hit this one, you're like, oh, wait, no, now this is the
yeah,
best episode.
yeah. I still think the Sophia episode was the best.
I can see that.
Yeah, I like how it's just gets better after that though, and I like the ooh, just Penguin setting that hitting the fire. Ooh, brutal.
Oh,
Was
yeah,
it the Falcons?
yeah.
The Maroons. The
The
Maronies.
Maronis. Oh, dude. Fucking A,
Oof.
man.
Like that's my Penguin.
Man. Oh, and it's like I'm rooting for the fucking guy, but I'm standing by. I think we both made this prediction. He is going to fuck Victor over. I really think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think he's gonna fuck everyone, even his mom over probably eventually. He's
Maybe.
got a little permission slip for that right now.
Well, based on the ending of this episode, he may not get the chance.
Yes.
We'll see. I mean, I was surprised that Sophia showed mercy to Oz's female friend.
I feel she said all the right things to get out of that though too.
She
Not
did,
that,
but
yeah.
I don't know that I thought that you could say you. I thought you could say all the right things and you would still get fucking killed, but it didn't happen.
I feel like she showed her more respect than other people did
Yes,
but not, yeah, which probably worked for her in the long run.
she was very
Uh,
straightforward.
yeah, when she showed up at her house, I was like, oh shit, I really like that character. Don't kill her. Don't kill Oz's lady friend.
Do you think that part of the reason why Sophia did not kill her? I think A, she identifies with her as a woman that's been fucked over by men, whatever.
Yeah,
But also, I think she may have done it because she didn't want to be perceived as somebody that could have been the hangman. Like it kind of is
Uh,
like, what would the hangman do? Then that's what I'm not going to do.
I think there was a little bit of that, but I got mostly, I think it was just the realization, like maybe a little bit like, ew, you touched the penguin. Ew. Like,
No.
girl, you've worked it harder than I did, like, um, but I like the payoff at the end. Like, she shows her mercy. She's like, well, he's here. She had no
Yep.
reason to tell on him. She just did because girls before bros, I guess.
Well, yeah, and I mean, she told
Yeah.
him what was going to happen, and he, that was he was putting her in danger, and he didn't believe her, and
Or
she didn't
care.
want to throw herself on the sword for her girls, but she would, and like I like that where you know Sophia says something, and then she's like, "Well, yeah, like they look out for me, and I look out for them," and Sophia's like, "No matter what I was born into, I'll never have that."
Yeah.
That
I
was
think that,
very
yeah. And I like the little line of like, oh, your girl sent me. And it was like, no, I told her to send you.
yeah. So that right there, that like
Yeah.
completely, it's right at the beginning of their scene together, and you think you know what the scene's going to be, and that just immediately puts you off balance because you're like, "Oh wait, no, I don't know what this scene is going to be at all."
Yeah. Like she was expecting this. Hence why she wasn't even dressed up. Because, like, why should I do my makeup if I'm going to get killed?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, she didn't want to throw herself on the sword, but she will for her girls, and she's like, "This is the only
Yeah.
way I can try and make sure that they don't end up killed as well." So I thought that
And
was
I
very
think that's
admirable.
that's that's probably the thing that saved her. Because, that was the part where it's like, oh, well, none of my family would do that. They would
Yeah.
throw the entire everyone under the bus. Yeah,
Yep.
including me. So that's like a level of respect she never got from her family. So she let her live for that.
Yeah.
That's probably the reason. Yeah. But yeah, that was a really good scene. I like the oh, what's squid?
I loved that because I was like, shoot him, shoot him, shoot him.
Yeah. And then he shot him, and I was kept thinking to myself, shoot him again, shoot him again, shoot him again.
Dude, that's what I kept. And then, but luckily, then I'm looking at the wound. I'm like, hey, this guy ain't living. But still, I mean,
Oh,
he's dead.
it's the DC universe.
If you're walking around in the DCU, double tap, motherfucker, no matter what. But I
Yep,
think Vic is okay.
always. Yeah, that was a little closure to him getting that, and the dinner scene where Clancy Brown's making the food for Sophia. That was a really good scene too.
Yeah.
I like the like he pulled the one bottle of wine. I was like, what? It's just collecting dust or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, and there's the one time when she kind of ate normal too. If you notice that, like usually
Yes.
every time she eats, she's just like. But then this, she's just like she's still chucking, but she's not as like
Frenzied.
feral about it. Like, don't touch my food.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, there's a lot of it was good. I can't. It feels like I keep expecting like this is the last episode after this. Even though there's like several episodes, it's like no, there's more coming. Like it's. I thought like the episode before this was like the here comes the big battle scene for the next move. Like if that was the episode before the last episode, it would work perfectly. If there was like we're just gonna have the big battle scene at the end and that was it. But clearly there's more going on here than that.
Well, so this is what I love about this is that you're 100% correct. Where there, like with the last episode, I felt like it could have been the penultimate episode. However, the fact that this wasn't like we've got 8 episodes, and that was what episode, what are we on, 5 or 6?
Five? I think we're on six.
Yeah, 6 was Gold Summit, so there's 2 left. So that just means the way that it's ramping up, like that's what I mean by I feel like this is going to end up being a fucking masterpiece, and not like a DC masterpiece, but like this is on a level of like just a great HBO show.
Yeah, everything
because
that makes HBO good.
I can't imagine where I mean, I have ideas about where it's going, but it just keeps accelerating and it's not losing steam and it's not losing me. It's not getting twisted in its own plot strands. There's a lot of moving pieces, and it's just fucking very good. And the fact that he just put all of these motherfuckers together, it's like everybody that's not. I love in the last episode, last week's, the fact that not only does Sophia kill her, her whole Falcone family, but then she's like, no, we're the Gigantes. Oh God, I just thought that was so fucking great.
Which is her name in the comic book. Sophia Gigante was her husband's name. That's how she has that name.
Okay,
But it's a good twist to bring it in.
it was cool. It sounds like Carlito Bergante from Carlito's Way.
Another fun detail someone pointed out line somewhere, I can't remember where I saw it, but the fact that Carmen Falcone, the dad, who was the hangman, who was killing all the prostitutes and all that stuff, that's how he killed Catwoman's friend in the movie. He strangled her.
Don't even remember it.
So it was this. Yeah, I know. I don't remember it either because it's such a long movie. But the fact that it's the MO that he kept through the movie
Right.
actually worked in the TV show. That's some good detail right there. Like they
Yeah, it
could
is.
easily just add that at the end, but no, it was actually in the movie.
That's
It was
that's
such a
pretty tight.
one-off. Yeah.
I made the comment at some point this weekend to somebody, maybe you. I don't know if you're aware of this, but like what I wish somebody would do for that Batman movie, the Matt Reeves Batman movie, is what I've never watched this, but I'm aware that Netflix at some point a couple years ago acquired Tarantino's Hateful Eight, but it's expanded and they turned it into like a 4 episode series. So it's the movie, but there's just
Really?
extra stuff in it and it's divided into chapters. Please do that for Matt Reeves' Batman. It's
I
too
would love
fucking
that.
long to be a movie. And also, and I still haven't watched this, I didn't even know anything. The guys at the comic shop were telling me, oh, the whole deleted scene with the Joker. I was like, what? They're like, you don't know about
It's
this?
dumb.
I,
Honestly, I saw
I'm
that. It was
curious.
kind of dumb. They made a big deal about that when the movie came out, and I saw that and it was like, it kind of turned me off on the movie, honestly, because it's just such a. It's like they're trying to do that whole the Joker from the Dark Knight kind of vibe, where he's got the scars on his mouth and he's wearing makeup. Uh, I think that worked once with Heath Ledger, and that was it. I don't want to see another scarred up uh Joker, I guess. I think I'm liking this because Penguin's a character that works in the real world, and they're
Yes.
kind of making him more comic booky. I
Okay.
feel like
Yeah, I can see that.
eventually, at some point in time, the umbrella is going to show up. He's going to like embrace the weirdness to the thing. I didn't. I still like as much as I like this, and I like what the Riddler did. Now that I'm seeing like an aftermath of this all, I still hate the Riddler in the
I
movie
didn't
because
hate
he's
him, but I
not the
mean,
Riddler. He's
I
not
didn't hate him,
flamboyant.
but it felt a lot like that thing where I feel like sometimes DC tries to make things so dark, and I'm just like, bro, you did this like 40 years ago. It's cool. Like you can
Yeah.
let that go a little bit. But the fact that they got, and I don't know how to say his name, Barry Keoghan. I'm sure that's not the way to say his name, but
Okay.
he's the one. Apparently, he's credited as unseen Arkham patient or something. Um, I know him primarily from Killing of a Sacred Deer, where he plays Martin, and Banshee of Inisherin. And he's also in The Green Knight, which I didn't care for very much. He's in Saltburn, which I didn't see, but he's a very distinct actor. And like Killing a Sacred Deer, he is so menacing while being this like kind of sloppy, stupid teenage boy. But there's just
Uh-huh.
something about the way he does menacing that I was really interested when I was like, wait, that's who. Oh, that's interesting. So I don't know. I keep meaning to watch the scene. Maybe I finally will tonight. I talk about it and I forget about it. So
Yeah, it was one of those when I saw, I was like, well, that's not that exciting. Why is everyone excited? It's just because it's the Joker. And it's like, it felt like a placeholder Joker. and the fact that it's deleted makes me think that maybe they'll go with someone else, which I hope.
Yeah,
Like, I don't want this to be canon. I want something else from the Joker. Like and I've said it a couple times on here. Um, Batman villains should be flamboyant. They should be in, bring back the flamboyant uh drama kid who's like has flair for his crime. I don't need like another serious. I'm Joker, but I'm serious and I'm depressed. Like,
right,
no,
right.
you're Joker. You're a madman who's killing people for crazy fun. Like because you have whatever issues. Um, and I enjoy a take of Joker, different take of Joker all the time. And there's things that I like about Heath Ledger's Joker, and there's things I hate about Heath Ledger's Joker. But and there's things I like about not Jay Leno, Jay Leno's Joker.
Oh my God. Hey, I'm a Joker, huh?
Hey
Ah.
everyone,
Oh
I'm here to
Lord.
commit some crimes. Jared Leto's Joker had things I liked about him, and he had things about I hated too.
Oh man. Never saw that movie, but 2 + 2 is 4. If you hate Jared Leto
Yeah,
and you hate Jared Leto, you're not going to like his Joker. Um, I mean, I'm in no
well,
hurry to
from what I
have the
understand,
Joker introduced.
the thing, like I might have said this to you before, um, the first Suicide Squad movie has some of the best, not the best acting I've seen in a movie, but some solid acting by the villains and stuff like that. But is one of the worst edited movies that I've ever seen. And when you watch a movie and go, "Holy shit, that's some bad editing," there's something wrong with the editing because
Yeah,
you
that's
don't
that's
notice
true.
editing. That
That's true.
you notice other things, you never notice editing. Will Smith was solid in it. Harley Quinn was solid in it. The guy who played Captain Boomerang was great in it. Even I would say there was probably some scenes of the Joker that were actually pretty good that ended up in the cutting room floor because according to Leto, there is a ton of footage that he shot for that never saw the light of day.
Hmm.
And this, I throw this argument out there now that I'm on the internet. Give us the fucking director's cut of that movie. I would love to see that more than I would love to see another Zack Snyder movie. Just because I want to see these actors shine. There's things in the commercial that aren't in the movie, and those scenes in the commercial were really great.
Hmm.
You know,
Well,
but
I will sign your petition to get that released. I just won't ever watch any version of that movie.
yeah, I'll make
But
you
I would
watch it.
like for you to have it.
Uh, yeah, but one example, are a good Joker. I don't, but they all kind of do the same like scar mouth thing that I don't like the scars on the mouth. I like just the fact that he's smiling. Uh, there's a Suicide Squad animated anime that just came out on Max. I don't know if you saw it, Ishika or whatever, and I just finished watching that. And the Joker in there has his smile painted on his face with his lips moving below that. I thought that was kind of a clever
Hmm.
take on the smile. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what if Matt Reeves does with it, but I just don't want it to be all dark, like there's got to be some light and flare.
I don't think you're going to
Riddler
get that,
doesn't have to
honestly.
be. No, I don't think Riddler needs to be Jim Carrey, but he should be a little bit Jim Carrey. You know,
No, not at all. No Jim Carrey ever. Percent of Jim Carrey, 0.
I appreciate
Um,
Jim Carrey's Riddler more than I appreciate Paul Dini's Riddler.
not me. But I just don't like
And I
Jim
don't
Carrey.
like that movie either. I don't like Jim Carrey either, man. It's just he's got flair to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
other people that have flair, the Nazis.
Who? No, you're thinking of Bennigan's Place.
Thank you for getting that. So, real quick, one last shout out, and then we'll wrap it. But I picked this up from you, and I had seen this on the shelf at my shop, and it just kind of went over my head. So, Oni Press has resurrected EC Comics, and they're doing this
Yes.
Epitaphs from the Abyss. So this is the typical, like Skybound and Image are doing Creepshow right now, and Shudder brought Creepshow back as a show. There's been several seasons and some specials, and they're fair to middling. There's like 3 great episodes, and everything else is like fair to middling. The comics have not been good. I read like the first 4, and I was like, I'm
Okay.
good. I I've read 2 of these first 4 of the Epitaphs from the Abyss, and I absolutely fucking love these. I love these. They're a
Nice.
commentary on. Yeah, I think you would like this. They are commentary on modern morality in a horrific way. So there's one that's us versus us, and it's these people running from these plague victims, and come to find out the plague victims are took the vaccine for this plague. It's just, but it's like it's not taking either side. It's really really well done. Um,
Okay.
there's the conservative senator that suddenly switches her stance on abortion, and then like this reporter's like, this doesn't make any sense, and like follows them and then finds out why. Um, but
Okay.
it's not beating anything over. It's close, but not quite. And the reason it's not beating you over the head is because it's really like not taking a side, other than to say, aren't we all just fucking idiots? Um, I really, really, really like this. Again, read 2 of the 4 issues out so far. Issue 1, this beautiful cover by Andrea Sorrentino, who he works with Jeff Lemire a lot. I really like his stuff. Most recent, like the Tenement with Lemire. But yeah, like I don't know, it's different creators every issue, and I just think it's fucking fantastic. It's perfect for the season.
Cool. I'll have to check. With your recommendation, I might check that out because that
And
actually sounded more interesting than I would have thought.
and it's like the stories are like 5 pages because it's there's 3 or 4 stories in an issue, and
Yeah,
it's not an expanded
it's all
volume, so
Tales from
it's
the Crypt type
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
The only thing I don't get is like why call it Epitaph? What was it called again?
Epitaphs from the Abyss. So they did not want to try and like remake or redo the old stuff. So they're like, we challenged ourselves to think of this as if EC Comics had never been destroyed by the Comics Code and all this stuff.
Okay.
And because famously EC Comics like was beloved, and then somebody got wind of it, and in like a conservative platform or whatever. I mean, this is like, I mean, we're going back decades, right? And
I
then
think that's a story everyone should know. If you've
I think so
ever read
too.
comics,
Yeah,
I
I think
feel
so
that
too.
is like it is why I'm not conservative for one thing, because like I see stuff like that all the time. I'm like, yeah, we've been through this before, guys. It doesn't
Yeah,
work out.
it doesn't work out exactly. So yeah, so EC Comics was basically destroyed by censorship,
Yeah.
and their whole ethos with doing this new series is like, we wanted to try and come up with something where it was like, what if that had never happened and they'd been going for the last 40 something years, right? Or more than 40 now. I mean, geez, what was it, like the 50s those are from? So, I mean, geez, my God. My God.
50s, 60, uh,
But
70
yeah,
years, maybe 80 years.
it's just
Yeah.
a long time. So, I just thought that was really cool. So that's why they named it that, because they didn't want to like
Okay.
repeat what had already been done. This would be like, picture this as EC Comics never went away, and like this is a new series that's like they launched, that's fits, slots right in with today's world, and it really does, and it's excellent. Art's excellent.
Okay. That makes
Everything
sense then.
I've enjoyed both issues so far. I'm looking forward to more.
Because the thing I noticed was like, well, why are you calling EC Comics, but you picked a different name? Like it made sense if it was like True Crime or, like the various 60, not 60, but the
Well, like
12
Vault of
running
Horror, Web
titles
of
they
Horror,
had,
blah
Vault
blah
of
blah.
Horror. Yeah.
Yeah,
But no, if they're just trying to do like, this is the new series, but you were still keeping the EC title, I can respect that. Yeah.
yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it makes sense. You don't need the Crypt Keeper. Does it have a Crypt Keeper type character in it?
The grave digger, but then
The
in
Grave Digger?
in one, then they introduce this other one that's like, I forget what she is, like it's like his counterpart, the Tormentor or something like that. Um, and it's cool too when you meet her. The splash page. I'll try to put it in right here so people can see. But it's like he's like
Ooh,
introducing her from the
wow.
background. She's in the foreground, and she's clearly like applying like a wrench to somebody that's on like a strap to a table. But the way it's drawn, it would be you because you can just see from like the chest down. So I was like, oh, that's
Oh,
really.
okay.
I was like, that's really fucking smart. And Dustin Weaver does those pages, and his art is just fucking outstanding. It's
Yeah, I agree with
outstanding.
that.
So yeah, Epitaphs from the Abyss. Really, really digging it. 4 issues on the stands now, and I believe there's at least 1 or 2 more coming out. Hopefully they'll keep it going. They have a sci-fi one that's going to launch too. I forget the name of it.
It's already out. Um,
Cruel Universe.
Full Universe, yeah.
Okay, I gotta find that shit because I want to read that too.
Yeah, it came out like a week after this one did, or
Okay,
2 weeks. It was like same time.
okay.
Yeah.
And also, I haven't read any of this yet, but just thank you.
We're gonna have
Very
a
excited.
Ghost Rider discussion group someday in the future.
Yeah, very excited. And
For
like,
for those of you out there who are complaining about all the Transformers and Batman stories, don't worry, we're gonna shove some Ghost Rider down your throat.
you were gonna say we're gonna shove some Ghost Rider up your ass.
No, you know,
That
I like
would
to
have been.
think about the family viewers, the young kids that watch us. They don't want that profanity.
Well, guess what? It's here to stay. This is really cool though because I haven't read a lot of this. It's weird. So this is like it's an epic collection. This Ghost
Yeah,
90s Ghost Rider 1 through 12. Then Mark Spector Moon Knight 25, where he was a guest. Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme 28. Material from Marvel Comics Presents 64 to 71. I guess I thought with a collection this big, it would have had more of the Ghost Rider stuff. And I don't know. I looked at it, I was like, oh
I
wow.
like that. Like it's like everything from the time period that came out like that year. Because I bought
Yeah, yeah.
because I gave that to you because I bought the omnibus that came out just this past couple weeks because it has all that and more in it, and I'm not 100% sure when the next Epic collection's coming, so I'm just gonna go with these hardcovers instead. And one of the things that I noticed in hardcover that wasn't in there that should have been in there was the McFarlane Spider-Man crossover.
Yeah. Yep.
That should have been in that collection. Wasn't. I don't know if it's going to show up in the next book, but I have to go back and read it because it's in the middle of that. It would be in the middle of that trade section. But yeah, it's one of those giant hardcovers with bigger art and nicer pages. So I figured, fuck it, I'll just pay the $100 and get the big one and give that to you because you'll enjoy it.
I
We were
will, and
talking
we will
about it a couple
definitely
months ago. Yeah,
we'll definitely cover this. I know I'm going to want to talk about this because it's like we talked about. It's the '90s, and it's Ghost Rider versus ninjas pretty much all the time. Ninjas and vampires. What could be more '90s?
yeah,
Like there is
exactly.
nothing more '90s.
And then you throw in Wolverine and Mark Spector the Moon Knight.
Yep, yep. And when I brought up Werewolf by Night on this show a couple weeks ago, and I just how bad it was, but one of the things I forgot to mention on the episode before we talked about Werewolf by Night #1, we talked about this Ghost Rider, '90s Ghost Rider, and Blackout, right? And
Yes.
Werewolf by Night, Blackout shows up, and I was just like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" It was just such a surreal moment where I'm like, "We just talked about this. Has anybody even used Blackout since '90s Ghost Rider? Who knows?
He
Not
shows
I.
up every once in a while. I didn't know he was in Werewolf by Night, though. I guess that
Yeah,
wasn't all that good then, was it?
no, it's not good. It was not.
Uh, or Blackout.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. So okay, let's drink it with comics, and we're gonna drink until we black out or become vampires.
Blackout.
Hi, I'm Sean. Join me and my friends every week for the Horror Vision, where we talk about horror movies.